What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 203. And we start today's episode off with a brief look at the league table on the back of our thrilling 3-1 victory against Wolfsburg in the Europa League semi-final second leg. As you can see, with 3 games to go in the Premier League, we sit in 5th place right now, 1 point clear of Arsenal in 6th, who we do have a game in hand on, and 2 points behind Frank Lampard's Chelsea, who sit in that 4th and final Champions League spot. But of course we do have 2 games in hand and therefore can afford 1 defeat in our final 3 games in order to qualify as long as we win the other matches. But yeah, still taking on Everton for the first game of today's episode here away at Goodison Park. Right now they are sat in 12th place in mid-table and have nothing to play for. Can't qualify for Europe and can't get relegated. And as we head into this game in today's episode, guys, with the 3 final ones in the Premier League, I'm going to be talking quite a bit about the gameplay changes the EA have made to FIFA 20 since the patch back in January, I think it was, and also sliders as well, because that has dominated a lot of the chat in my comment section for, well, I'd say about a month or possibly even 2 months now, thinking about it, after the main patch to Ultimate Difficulty back in January. So as we take on Everton here, again, right now sat in mid-table, can't qualify for Europe, can't get relegated, and with us on the back of that thrilling victory against Wolfsburg, feeling great, feeling in form, and feeling like we do have destiny in our own hands to qualify for the Champions League, feeling really good. But heading into this game, as I have mentioned so many times before, since the patch back in January, I think it was, things like this just seem to be really unavoidable, and it is so frustrating. Now, as I've mentioned in the past couple episodes, I've set my sliders back to 50, so I'm playing natural ultimate gameplay here in these career mode episodes, and unfortunately when you do that, these sort of things occur. So we're about 38 minutes into the game, and we give away a free kick through Jadon Bowe, which I don't think was a free kick to begin with, to be honest here. And I mean, unbelievable. We've seen some AI goals this season which have been truly extraordinary. That one is added to the collection. 2 of our former players at Roma linking up there. Barai with a pinpoint free kick, whipped into the far post, and Tonali with the absolutely ridiculous first time half volley, drills it in the near post and gives Sam Hill no chance. A few minutes later, Nicholas Wilson is then sent off with a straight red card for this late challenge, which personally I think just a booking would have been the right call. So we're down by 2, we're now down to 10 men. I basically waved a white flag and took off some of my starters at half time here, as I knew for sure we weren't going to win this game. And in the 65th minute here, 20 minutes after the restart, as Ross McCrory is sent down the right hand side. Remember the earlier challenge in the game when Nicholas Wilson was sent off? For this moment here, the referee doesn't even play to give the free kick to Sheffield United. The game plays on and he swallows his whistle. How? It's a similar challenge. He's late, he doesn't get the ball, he takes him down with 2 feet, and yet Wilson's foul was a red card. That wasn't even a foul. And, you know, again, the one thing I want to say here is that I don't really believe in that many conspiracy theories. I don't often wear my tinfoil hat. But I've been asked about the changes that EA have made to career mode and offline gameplay since January, when the patch came in and Ultimate Difficulty became basically unplayable at times. And I do believe that EA have done this on purpose to try and funnel more people from playing career mode to playing Ultimate Team, because of course that game mode makes the money year round, whereas career mode only makes the money as a selling point. By frustrating the hell out of you, by playing those sort of games where they should be winnable fixtures and you get absolutely dominated, and it just feels, and I hate to use this word, but I'll whisper it, scripted. It just feels a little bit too obvious, you know, heading into that game. I felt pretty confident on the back of that 3-1 victory against Wolfsburg in the Europa League semi-final. That was a massive game against a European side who had thrashed Lyon in the previous round 7-0. And yet we beat them 3-1, you know, reasonably comfortably at Bramwell Lane. We're there away at Goodison Park with nothing to play for, Everton, and we get thrashed 3-0, and some of the decisions that went against us in that game just felt totally ridiculous. And again, I don't like to be this conspiracy theory type of guy, but I have been starting to believe now in the past few FIFAs that EA are making changes to career mode on purpose, making the game mode worse on purpose, you know, making the game dilapidated on purpose in order to funnel more people to play Ultimate Team. I know that's probably something which a lot of people would think is a bit of a stretch, you know, a bit of a bizarre theory, but when you think about some of the things you've seen over the past couple of seasons in this series, I mean, the massive games against the teams that we should be struggling mightily against, and then destroying. Now, do you remember last season with Bayer Leverkusen against Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich when we beat Borussia Dortmund, I think it was 4-0, and we went to the Allianz Arena and beat Bayern Munich, the best team in Germany over the past decade or so, by 5-0 at the Allianz, and we could have won the game by more goals. And yet, you see this season, for example, do you remember the FA Cup 4th round tie, was it 5th round tie, 1-2, away at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace? We lost 5-0. And all 5 of their goals came from basically undefendable crosses, and it's so frustrating because I get asked by you guys a lot, you know, what slider settings are you using? I'm really struggling to enjoy the game because, you know, I can't seem to get the right kind of settings, I can't seem to get the right kind of feel, the results seem absolutely ridiculous and totally unrealistic, and I never know what to respond with, I never know what to reply with, I never know what to say, because the truth of the matter is, guys, as I mentioned before, I'm basically adjusting sliders on a game-by-game settings at times in order to get realistic results and challenging gameplay as well. I kept the sliders on 50 for these 2 games here, and as you can see, now taking on Manchester United, they were going for the title heading into this game, the penultimate game of the season. They come to Bramwell Lane, we've just been spanked by 3-0, and they don't record a single shot on target in 90 minutes. 2 of their attempts came from crosses down the flanks. As we know, they are very hard to defend, but both headers went over the bar and behind for a goal. And yes, to be fair, in that game, obviously I didn't show all the defensive highlights, but I did defend quite well in that game, to be honest. But either way, you know, they are one of the informed teams in the division going for the title. They come to Bramwell Lane, which has been hammered 3-0, and they can't record a single shot on target, and we win with the only shot on target. And again, I wasn't even that surprised come the end of the game. The sliders were on 50, the sliders were the exact same as they were in the Everton game, where we got thumped by 3-0, yet we won with the only shot on target in the entire match against a side that were going for the title. Because it just feels like EA do this on purpose in the big games, because this is the thing here. When you play career mode, it's the big games you play for, the big games you look to enjoy, you know, the big games that you can't wait to play and see if you can come through with the goods and get the result. Those are the games where you want to be challenged. Those are the games where you sit down and you think, oh, it's a pivotal title decider here or whatever. These are the games you really want to have a good challenge in and have a really fun time playing. But instead, at times, they can just feel like they're set up in order for you to win, to take away that kind of challenging aspect. And then in the games like the Everton one, which is supposed to be a banker, you just get destroyed. You just get destroyed sometimes when you're playing on natural sliders, and it's just so frustrating. It takes the enjoyment out of the game. And again, I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but it just feels like EA have done this on purpose to frustrate you, to take away as much enjoyment as possible when playing career mode, and try and funnel you in to playing Ultimate Team just to earn more money for them, because they can earn more money through DLC and the packs during the season. And as we know, career mode only makes money as a selling point. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below, but based on the changes I've seen to the gameplay, based on what's been happening since the patch in January, I just feel like that is the case. And I know I'm not the only person that feels that. I know some of you guys believe that too. But let me know in the comments what you guys think, because again, I think it's got to a point now where it's absolutely ridiculous. I genuinely think EA are ruining this game mode on purpose in order to make you, or try and convince you to play Ultimate Team, taking away any kind of enjoyment using this game mode in order to try and make more money off you by playing Ultimate Team. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my personal opinion now, and that's what it's been like since January, because I have to keep on adjusting the sliders game by game in order to get realistic results and realistic gameplay and challenging gameplay. Otherwise, it's like the 2 games you saw prior to this one here against Fulham away at Craven Cottage on the final game of the season. I've taken on a side that we should be beating pretty comfortably and getting absolutely spanked and having nothing to, you know, no kind of saving grace. And then in the games like against Manchester United, against one of the big title deciders, brushing them aside and winning by only scoring a single shot on target. It was crazy. But regardless, anyway, after that massive long rant there, the third and final game was going to be away at Craven Cottage against Fulham, where heading into this game, if we knew if we were to win on the final day, we would finish in 4th place and qualify for the Champions League after winning our game in hand against the Red Devils. And whilst Fulham did have the first chance of the game, they right now are sitting above the relegation zone and they are mathematically safe on the final day. They had nothing to play for, so I was feeling quite nervous heading into the game, but we were just on fire in this game, to be fair. And 2 goals up very early, first for Ivan Toney, And then Eze scoring his second goal in 2 games and third in 4. How good has Eze been in recent weeks for us here? Let's hope he does this with Norwich in our Football Manager save. It's 2-0 to Sheffield United regardless, and Ivan Toney was at the heart of everything in this game as well. 3 minutes to go before the break, he bags his second goal of the game and 14th for the match, and I love these 2 goals as well. First with the classic Ivan Toney dummy through the legs, going through 1-on-1 and smacking it home, and there 1-1 with the last defender. Lovely roulette to beat him, and a great finish as well. 14 goals for the Shocker since coming in the January transfer window. I'm so glad to have him back here at Bramall Lane, and we know at some point he's going to take a reduced squad role and start becoming a bench player, but for now he is still my main go-to guy up top. So final score was Fulham 0, Sheffield United 3. A pretty comfortable win in the end for the Blades on the final day. You did see Sam Hill make a couple of good saves in the game as well. For the most part, he definitely deserved to win. And again, we look at these stats here. This is what I want to see. You know, we're taking on Fulham, we're away at Craven Cottage, and that's the sort of realistic statistic and realistic result that you would expect in those sort of games, as Chelsea thrashed Everton 4-1, so no ridiculous Barai and Tonali goals in that game for the Toffees. But that's what you want to see, you know, not like the Manchester United game where we win the game, but the statistics just show a really poor match where there was only 1 shot on target. Not like the Everton game where we got thumped. Just realistic results. That's what I'm looking for. And again, it's just so hard to do that unless you adjust the sliders game by game. I know there are slider settings out there that are pretty decent. Operation Sports have the best ones in my opinion, but again, it just feels like due to the way that the AI play now, the big teams just rolling over and letting you get the win, and the smaller teams turning into prime Barcelona. It's just really frustrating, and I wish I could give you guys a better explanation as to why at times this save does wield unrealistic results in gameplay. All I can say is this: EA have totally destroyed this game mode, and it's got to a point now where it feels broken beyond repair. Anyway, that's the end of today's episode. That's the end of today's episode, guys. So thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it regardless. And I do apologise for the rant. I know I don't rant much and I just sort of take things as they are. But I've just got to a point now I'm getting really frustrated when people ask me, you know, what's going on with the gameplay? How comes the games seem very unrealistic at times? I'm sorry, but I can't really say anything other than that. I'm trying my best to get you guys realistic gameplay, realistic results, but also challenging gameplay in the right appropriate scenarios as well. But it is just very difficult to do. Since the patch, EA have made this a very tough game to play for enjoyment and realistic results. But have a fantastic day, guys, though. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for next episode very soon, which is going to be the season finale as we take on Manchester United in the Europa League final, where now we don't need to win it in order to qualify for the Champions League, but I'd love to pick up our second piece of silverware this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the season finale very soon.